Oh, guys, I'm sorry. I know that when you're on live, you should not be coughing and stuff, but I cannot shake this cold. As a matter of fact, I meant to grab some emergency to see if usually when I have a cold, I will drink emergency all day, every day, um, just to try to knock it out as quickly. I don't know if this is like a new strand of COVID or what, but like I cannot shake this cough. Granted, the entire time I've had a cold, I've also been working, right? So that does not help. So I've got a little cough. Every now and then I will have like a stuffy nose, stuff like that. But for the most part, it's just a cough and a lot of phlegm, which has been driving me insane because I sound like an old man coughing. Um, but obviously, I'm on my way to work, and I wanted to give you guys an update about my experience after the difficult conversation had. Again, I am super impressed with myself because I've never, like, I communicated what I needed to communicate like a boss, man. And I wasn't an asshole about it. I just said it like matter of fact, like this is the facts, you know? And to see people respond to that, I think is what would help me to learn that it's okay to be indifferent to someone else's views or opinions, and then re-encouraging that intellect is most important. Like, again, I could have gave him attitude. I was in the right, in the sense of, well, damn, I didn't do anything. Like, it's your freaking assumption that you're trying to, it ain't on me. Like, I could have really easily had an attitude behind that situation, but um there was no need to, if that makes sense. And I think that's where sometimes Black people may miss the mark, is that it's okay to be disagreeable in the sense that, like, if you're standing up for yourself and your fucking car, dude, they're going 20 miles per hour, and the police were going faster than this goddamn car. Sheesh. But I think it's very important for Black people to understand when you're in white spaces, right? Intellect is key. And whether they appreciate you or not, they have to look at circumstances in such a manner that allows them to be able to, I guess, intellectually understand where you're coming from and what you say. So this conversation that we had was amongst like two friends. You know what I mean? Not saying that we're friends, but that's how the dialogue went back and forth. And I was impressed because normally when I'm upset, I don't always hit on all my points. Everything that I want to say, I don't really say. So this time around, because I wasn't put on the defense, right? I wasn't at all. I was able to articulate my point, how I felt, what I feel like is going on, and it was received, right? So my frustration, the last what was it when I took the rest of the day off, was mostly behind the fact that I had never been in that space. So now that I've said my piece, the owner said his piece. Where do you go from there? Like, I didn't know. I'm like, okay, does this mean that this is over? Does this mean that I'm gonna have to come back to work and still be dealing with the same shit, or not worse because I just, said what I said? Like, I had a lot of emotions behind what was said, and you got done. And then two, feeling as though, well, not feeling, knowing that I was treated differently as a result of my assumptions, right? That's what messed me up the most. That's what was like, wow, like, y'all's assumptions really be like, I could only imagine how many assumptions they have of Black people that Black people have been fired for because somebody else is assuming something. And understand that Black people do not react in a manner to shit like that the way that I did. That's maturity, right? But the average person, you come to them talking about, oh, you got an attitude because you shut your door. If they don't have any sort of emotional intelligence behind understanding what's actually happening, they're going to pop off because you're now assuming, you're projecting your own shit onto me. And a lot of people don't understand why that happens. The difference with me, I think, is because one, I did my research, right? I had already been doing my research. But two, I know I'm confident within myself. Like I say, I know I got things that I need to work on, whatever. But I've been living long enough to know that other people's opinion of me don't mean shit, you know? And so, yeah, if it's a situation where I'm completely out of line, I have no problem admitting that, right? But what is perceived to be an attitude, excuse me, when it comes to whites and black men, right? Because black men always want to complain about black women's attitudes. It's more based upon their perception than the attitude that's actually being had. Now, can black women have attitudes? Of course, all day long, right? But I think that sometimes when we're not smiling, it's perceived as we're angry. That's a personal bias of the person who's perceiving that we're angry. That ain't got shit to do with me. So if I was to get fired for a perception that really ain't on me, that's an illegal reason to fire somebody. You understand that? Black women, if our face is not like, if we rest in bitch face, we're perceived as mean. How many times do you hear people say, oh, well, you should smile, as if everybody in the world is smiling all the fucking time? That's not realistic. But because of the perception of the individual that's telling you to smile, that's their perception. That don't make it true. That don't make it fact, right? I'm a very communicative. So if I'm not happy, I have no problem telling folks I'm not happy. Like, I don't know why people think that black women, well, like, at least for me, I'm strong enough in personality where I have no problem telling you I don't like how you handled that. I don't like how you talk to me. I feel disrespected. I do that all day long, right? But for some reason, people take my silence as something to be interpreted, and that's not cool, right? Some days I just don't want to talk. Shit, I talk to people all day long. It's okay for me not to want to fucking talk sometimes. You know what I mean? So I think that we've got to recognize that black women are humans. I'm a human. I'm not like an alien species. I am probably more human than humans, okay? Hue, man. Hue is color. I'm a woman, okay? So I'm definitely human. I'm not superhuman, okay? And I think that's where people think that black women, I don't know what the fuck people think. But what I do as a result of shutting my door, and see, I could have been real petty with this conversation, right? Because yesterday I seen a bunch of people shut their doors. Why? Because it was loud and folks are doing bookkeeping and they need to be able to focus on their work. These folks don't got signs on their door. So that's a whole nother, you know what I mean? Like, that's a whole nother conversation, because essentially what it does is it lets me know that me having my door shut was the issue, not the white lady having her door shut. So it very much is rooted in race. That perception of, oh, well, I just assumed you wanted to be left alone. Why assume anything? I don't make assumptions. If I think you're mad, I'm going to come and ask you, are you okay? Is this a good time to talk? We're adults, and that's how adults should be behaving. So, like I said, I feel better. I will say this. My boss did say good morning to me. He made it intentionally to say good morning to me, which I appreciate, because that's the only right thing to do, right? So basically showing me like, I heard you and I'm gonna do better type shit, right? So that was cool. And then, believe it or not, so I'm now put in a management position because a manager is gone. So I'm like I'm really, if you look at the job descriptions, I am like the assistant manager. It's always been like that, okay? Whether they want to give me credit for it or not, it's always been like that. So I now have to, sorry, y'all. And I'm not spitting this stuff out. I ain't got nowhere to spit it. So But right now, it is what it is until I get to the office. But don't judge me. I'm sick and I don't like being sick. Oh, I can go. Cool. Hang on. My experience with my team, I don't know if this is because they understand now that I'm essentially the manager while the manager is gone, but my team has been much more kinder and respectful. You know what I mean? Yesterday, they invited me to brunch. Like one of my team members, the guy who yells at me anytime he thinks it's okay, um, invited me and his wife, all the women. So let's say this, all the wives of the team members that I have, they love me. And so his wife, I'm pretty sure it's the wife more so than him, invited me and the team to brunch. And I told you guys how I got the invite. What was it? Monday night, right? When we went out to dinner and stuff like that. For Tuesday to come around, Wednesday, I come into work and the guy really just comes up to me and he's like, hey, so did you get that invite? Like, basically telling me to accept it. Just so you know, Aaliyah, I don't know why these white people can't pronounce my daughter's name. That's actually very disrespectful in my opinion. Because it's Ayana. It ain't that complicated, right? It's Ayana. It's not hard to pronounce her name. So I really am getting irritated by that, but I just let it roll off my shoulder. It ain't nothing to fight about. But what did I scare you, my guy? You can always tell when people are looking behind them. As soon as I speed up, now they way away, maybe 4, 5, 6 cars away, but they want to hit their brakes because I'm coming faster than what they expected, I guess. I don't know. But shoot, I guess I gotta use my windshield wipers. It's snowing right now, y'all. It's freaking nuts. This is Denver. Like I'm in a turtleneck and some boots. Yesterday, I was able to wear a dress, you know what I mean? And sandals. So that's Denver for you. We definitely live in a mountain state. Sorry, y'all. So it was very interesting that the dynamics switched that quickly. But that's how you know who the problem was. I didn't stop being me. Shoot. I didn't, you know what I mean? I didn't go in all extra friendly. No, I am who I am, right? So you could easily see the tone in the day. When the owner's not talking to me, how do you think everybody else is treating me? You know what I mean? And keep in mind, they treat me like crap anyway, but it don't like, okay, whatever. So I appreciate the team trying. That's number one. What I saw today was night and day difference. A clear night and day difference, okay, in terms of how I was treated. Period. I'm not standing behind you, car, because I'll be sitting behind you and mad that I'm going so slow. So it was cool to see the change in people's tone. Not mine. My tone didn't change. I still very much stayed to myself. And that's partly because I'm not used to dealing with fake shit. I'm not used to having a smile in people's faces when they are disrespectful, right? Like that's not, again, I think that's more of, I don't want to say it's a white culture thing, right? I understand being cordial and all, but like I'm not the girl that's gonna be talking shit about you one moment and then, hi, how are you doing? All up in your face the next moment. I really think that's some white people bullshit. And so it's very difficult for me to learn that level of culture. That's where I have the issue. Because if you do me wrong, I'm looking at you sideways for the rest of your life. So that's something I got to work on, right? I don't know how to like be fake. And when I say fake, it's more like phony fake. Like, I don't talk about people, shit about people, because I know my mouth would, I know that my name came up in plenty of people's mouths. And turn around and be like, so what'd you do this weekend? Oh my God, like you're so pretty. Like, I don't do shit like that. If I got an issue with you, I got an issue with you. And it ain't resolved until I'm ready to resolve it. You see what I'm saying? Maybe that's just immaturity on my part. I don't know. But I'm learning that this is how these people move, man. So it was hard yesterday because I'm like, you motherfuckers, right? Like, really? But at the same time, I think that people recognize, I don't think, I know people recognize that they were wrong. For that entire tone to shift yesterday and me actually have a great day. And I also want to be clear, when the owner was out on vacation, my team and I were getting along. We clicked. It wasn't until the owner got back that things began to feel weird again. And that had everything to do because I called the girl out on not doing her fucking job. And he trying to make her happy